How do we want to go about this? Just us ask questions, or you guys want to?
Yeah, I'll share my file now with everybody and then we'll have to review up with these changes and then you guys go into the last couple of questions.
Yeah, I was thinking if you want to start with kind of the budget overview, just the highlights, to get us started, and then if you guys are comfortable, I was thinking go line by line through it. But preface CJC toward the end. So we just focus on everything on Corolla. And then once we do Corolla, then we can jump over to CJC.
Yep.
And then I guess preface one thing beforehand, as we jump into it, before we talk about the line items, the total count households, before we jump into financials.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Have we does anyone reconcile the number of 4904 based upon all villages and everything?
It's what's in Syrinet for door count.
We're counting that.
Phase 2B.
Phase 2B. Well,
Yep, because they are paying.
yeah, so, and then I guess as to the amount of people going to be paying trash.
We asked Ken how many billable accounts he's doing now, and then we added the additional single family and townhome doors in 2B.
Well, they're not all gonna close by beginning of the year.
I know the trash is a pass through, so for the numbers
Well, as
a
far
little
as
bit off.
the dues, yeah, because if they're not paying the dues,
We're not,
we don't want them in here, right?
well, trash is different. They're billed together, but it's different. It's a
Right.
pass through. And they're separated out in your budget account. So
Yes.
if the budgeted amount is off a little bit, so is the expenditure gonna be off of it. They're gonna offset each other.
Pretty much. I mean, the expense, you don't have as much expense as you do in the collection in the budget.
It's supposed to be a direct pass through, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it doesn't cost as much.
well, it's because, so every year Ken has the ability to increase his price by CPI, but he
Right.
doesn't pull CPI until October. And by then, we're already halfway through the budget, so when we're prepping the budget, we have to guesstimate what
What
CPI is gonna be at that point in time.
Understood.
So we try to guesstimate on the high side.
Okay. Okay.
And I guess keep us honest on that too, as far as like another one is insurance. That's an estimate right now until
Yeah.
later in the year. So if there are numbers on here before we get into a deep discussion. If it's something that in a month or two, we're gonna have more credible numbers to go off of.
Yeah,
Share that with us so we don't waste our time talking about something that's gonna change at our next meeting.
they're
Yeah.
shopping your insurance now. They just started shopping it now. So they should have better numbers in a couple of months. We put it in at 20% just because last year you had such a high bump and the threat was a similar bump this year if we can't get the apartment complexes to put CROA on the COIs. I've got 3 apartments that have agreed to do it. One's completed it, 2 in progress, and I'm working on the other ones. It's gonna be difficult to convince Windsor to do it because most of their residents don't use the amenities anyways.
Have they paid?
Oh, the police are?
Yeah.
Not yet.
yet.
What are they saying? They just,
I'll check with Gina to see if they have communicated anything with her, but as far as I know, no, they haven't, but I don't know.
Their general manager flipped over again too.
so really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Lauren, just one thing, go back to insurance.
Mhm.
Our agent, he knows that we want to look at a deductible on GL and auto. And also increasing the self-insured to some number above 30,000.
I will make sure he knows that. It was in one of my communications with him this week, but I'll make sure that's done, clarified. Do you want me to ask him to come to an August meeting with you guys to talk about pulling those levers and what it might impact?
That'd be a good idea.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's,
It's the same gentleman that was here.
Yes. no, I think it'd be a good idea because then we can talk about it.
Will we have the bids in by then?
He'll have some idea of where you're headed, but no, he won't have bids in. He won't have good credible numbers until November.
But he should have a pretty good feel.
You
for
know,
what
He
we
should have a feel for the market,
Right.
what current communities renewing in this time frame are seeing. I mean, that's what SILE was doing for you too.
Right.
Right.
Lauren, can you comment real quick on how he's compensated?
And he gets paid by the carriers, rate based on what you're paying in premium. And that's pretty standard in the industry.
Okay, just wanted to know.
And
Okay,
if you want his pay disclosed, you can ask him for it.
Oh, he will tell you.
He has told me, yes, that if you ask them, they are supposed to share it with you.
Okay.
I don't know if he'll tell you
It's
the
a
full
change.
number, but he'll tell you the
Let's
percentage.
try.
Okay, so if we want to start with the detail,
You wanna go to the?
Or if you want to just do a quick summary overview.
Yeah, okay, so as you guys already know, in this version that we prepared for you guys, the increase for next year is approximately 19.85%. Total budget is estimated at 13 million, basically, $12,892,000. As you might already know, the main drivers for this are gonna be the CAC impact of the cost sharing agreement. We have the 20% of the insurance expense. We added an additional 4 positions. Also, we're acquiring approximately 15 additional parks. We're adding the new Island Village Amenity Center. We updated the new landscaping agreement. We also updated the pool maintenance agreement, but we're waiting for an actual number from the vendor as well. And we added maintenance costs for the splash pad as well. And
I think you captured it. And insurance.
Yeah.
In phase 2 turnover.
that the reserves increase a little bit, the reserve allocation from last year to this 20%, but not by much, maybe like $70,000. Compensation, not only we added 4 additional positions, we level out the rates for the people that were higher over budget this year. We added that to this budget, and we also
Fully funded that. part.
yes, the position, yes, correct.
so what are the 4 positions?
It's a community standards inspector starting halfway through the year. 2 part-time park monitors, park and pool monitors, with one of them beginning partway through the year. Because we're adding not only the amenity center and the 15 parks out in Island Village, but we're expecting the new multifunction courts to come online sometime down the road next year. And then an importer.
We can talk about all these parks at some other point, because they're obviously not gonna be turned over all at once by the beginning of the year. Says who, why would we accept? Parks.
They're providing a maintenance bond on all of them. So if they're damaged because of their construction activities, they pay to repair them.
Yeah, but there's no people living near any of these parks.
If we let them to continue to maintain it, we'll end up with the same situation in Olmsted News, where they weren't maintaining it, it was dead, and we were forced to take it over, and we spent $200,000 to redo the whole thing. So we might as well maintain it to our standards, and then if they damage it, they're paying to maintain it. We're already getting the dues for out there.
Okay, where these additional ones are, they've already got all those parks up there. There's not,
There's 15 parks, yep, that we will own.
I don't count, I only count like 7
Yeah,
that
there's
are
15.
actually done. I don't know how there's 15.
Get the map for you. There's parklets, there's kind of like green lawns.
Oh, just art, really
What's a
tiny.
definition of a park?
Very broad.
Any green space.
Any green space,
Yeah,
not owned by
If
somebody.
it's not a house, then it's a park.
right, but I mean.
Like, what is the definition of?
Well, that's what I'm curious about.
That's
because,
what I'm asking.
I mean, I understand that if it's,
Like
if it's not,
15?
if CCDZ doesn't own it, then PROA has to deal with it. But I don't know if anybody's been back there. But I mean, if you go back there, they've got these parks set up
Yeah,
that they've done the side and stuff, and there's no homes anywhere near them.
right,
Right.
You know,
yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. And they've already sold homes all the way to the back, but they haven't started building anything yet. Those are gonna be the over $1 million homes.
Like the lots,
The
right?
lots, yeah. the
Oh,
bigger lots.
Big lots.
Yeah.
Bigger
So,
houses.
Anytime we have to keep.
This is water.
The 2A and 2B parks that we own are all highlighted in green.
Right, 2A, you've got, we've already accepted those, right?
Yeah, but they weren't budgeted for this year.
Celebrating over.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Oh, so you're including,
Yeah, 2A, because they weren't budgeted this year.
you sure?
Yes, those are ours.
Probably do.
No, we put $20,000 in the budget for turnovers for 2A, but that doesn't fund these fully.
Some of these aren't done yet.
No, these will be turned over in the next month. This will be coming on in December, and these will be coming on in the
That's
next 3
amenity
months.
center,
Yes.
right? Okay. Yeah, these are,
They're empty back there. Right?
yeah, they're empty back there.
But regardless, we're looking at 12 months of expenses to
Right.
maintain.
Yeah.
And yeah, and looking at what we're seeing this year, right, the biggest headwinds are, again, CJC, which that's gonna be probably $500,000, 600,000, and then all the amenities and parks, which that's gonna be another 200 to 300,000. And then we lost out on our interest income because we spent it. So
Right.
that's a negative 100,000 there. So that's $1 million to kind of start out with this year. How do we work everything else?
Right.
And we have to make sure we're doing a better job funding it, because like Mike always brought up, you know, we've been running deficits the past couple of years, so focusing on making sure there's adequate funds to maintain the existing operating budget, then think of forward thinking other stuff.
This might be the year we have to bite the bullet.
And then the other thing too is, I think Lauren brought it up, is we kind of have a 20% threshold, right? Because anything above that may need to go to a community vote.
It doesn't need to go to a community vote, but it would be advisable that you have a couple of extra meetings at board level to thoroughly discuss.
But I think for us as a committee, we put the cap at 20% right now and try to make sure we stay under that.
Absolutely.
So for condos, if it's over 20, it requires a community vote. We try to retain that threshold just because.
But again, stay under
Yeah.
it, so there's no question or no one brings up anything or quotes the wrong thing. So that's I think our upper echelon of where we should be at. Hopefully it's less than that, but we'll see.
Can I make
as
a
it shakes
comment
out.
on
Good
that?
conversation.
Sure.
I've got some comments. Yeah, the number I think is a 1-year number because we're having structural change with CJC and how it's allocated. So it's a one-time event, we get it reconciled. In many businesses, when that happens, you typically remove that from any kind of production in terms of communication and so on. You call out your one-time items. In this case, I think we have that. And I think we could talk about a 20%, but I wouldn't be afraid to go over it because I think our focus needs to be on the fact that you've had an 8% increase over these last 7 years, including the 19 or 20 or wherever we end up on, and an 8% increase, which isn't bad. And then when you focus on the individual year, you're going to be at 20, let's call it 21, 22, take half off, or the 8.1 that the CJC shift is costing just for that 1 year. The impact is just for that 1 year. Then you get down into a more reasonable level of, 11 to 14% or somewhere in there. So I think you can paint a picture and communicate something that shows that over the long term, they've not had huge increases. And then in fact, they haven't been enough. I don't know how much that we want to get into. But then in the single year that we're talking about here, you've got a good event, not a good event. You have an event that explains it and gets it down to a 13% or 14 or whatever the number is. So I think that's the way you communicate it. And I won't worry too much going over the 20. And I'm in favor of putting together 250 in to get that payback on the interfund faster. And that means you'd be at about 22%. So that's, you saw that in writing. I'm just restating what I put in writing.
Yep, and personally, I didn't agree with some of those things that you say, but.
We'll get into it when we get to the line item.
Yeah.
So do we want to just
So,
jump in at
yeah,
this point?
yeah, let's just go through the line items. I mean,
Unless Joanne, any other comments you want to make before we go?
No, I'm-
Frank, you good?
Nope, I'm good. Do it.
And the guys, I don't know. Better?
You're good.
I guess the first thing is we've got the apartment rec fee going up 10%.
So that just by the calculation, their number gets diluted a little bit every door you add to the Crow side.
Right. Right. I mean, that seems reasonable.
And that's just based on the calculation. of
Yeah, it's the
percentage
same
of what it
calculation
is,
we
and
used
then-
last year.
Yeah. So, the pretty fixed number.
I mean, as we go updating the budget, we're gonna change stuff.
Right. So yeah, for that one, I don't have any real issue with it.
No,
As far
I
as
don't, I didn't,
calculation formula is all the same.
I think it's pretty fair.
Pretty much same, right?
Yeah. Doesn't, I mean, capital improvement assessments, you've come up with a number. Since it offsets each other, it doesn't really matter that much, right?
Well, but we're estimating what 350 sales at $775,000. So you guys think that we can be more bullish and we could just not do the number as well.
I'll do more work on it just because of, phase 2B.
Yeah.
And like I said, this year we've, like 52 phase 2B that are already closed. And there's still another, is it 35 or so under contract?
Yeah.
That will probably close this year as well. So then it's a question of, is it gonna slow down next year or not? I mean, we're just so far ahead this year on house sales than we were even
Yeah.
a year ago,
Mhm.
that it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, the average sales price is over $800,000.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
actually, they're reducing some prices in phase 2B, to be more competitive. So,
So yeah, for this, I think you guys were overly conservative on your number, which is fine, but I think if we're being conservative as a committee, about 1.6 million is very easily manageable. Then if we want to try to be closer to a number, I think 1.75 million would be appropriate.
I don't know if we want to go that high, because I think things are gonna slow down a little bit. So I'd be like at 1.5 personally. But
So do you wanna play with the average sales price or move up the sales to 400?
the average, well, that's it, because of phase 2. The average sales price this year so far is like 880,000.
Yeah,
Because in July, in June, it was over $1 million.
Yeah.
So
Gosh.
it's a big houses sold.
so if you leave the current sales price and you change it to 400, it gets you to 1.55.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Mhm.
Like I said, it doesn't have any impact on the.
Well, that'd be fine going 1.6 as far as $800,000 sale price, 400 sold, that's 1.6 million right there. But if you want to keep that 1.55, that's okay right now. I think it should be.
I was gonna say, yeah, like,
It's just more cash. Cash. Cash really.
A little interesting income, but not much.
Yeah.
No big deal.
But yeah, I think as we have further conversation, the larger number that assessment is, the less we would necessarily have to put a homeowner capital assessment out there. So
True.
if we are using that percentage of 1.6, 1.7, then there's less pressure to do the interfund amount or something else. That we have further conversation.
We move on.
Yeah, for-
Or people spend more capital.
So well. Got lower late finance charges. Interest income, is that based on just lower funded balances?
No, that's just a flat $50,000. I did the calculation, an estimated calculation, based on the currently market account that I did guys over the reserve fund, and then also the treasury bill that currently, we currently have in the reserve fund. And for the year, if the interest rate will remain the same, it will be around like $20,000.
Okay.
But I assume that you guys will maybe want to look into investing additional funds next year, so that's why
Yeah.
we're doing this for you guys to like, bring us suggestion. And all that.
Okay. Well, I think the reserve fund is gonna be pretty standard if we keep it at the spending. We do 1.44 like you've got in here and spending at that, then it's gonna be around $1 million all year. And then the capital fund depends on when we start doing the sports courts and all that.
Yeah.
Because it should be raising up as the year goes on now that one's pretty much complete. So. I'll look a little bit more at that just to do a kind of a projection of where I think the capital fund's gonna be. Go from there and I'll let you know.
For the service area maintenance fees, we're just doing a 4% on top of the number that we have for this year, and that's to account for the salary increase.
Okay.
Aside from that, we're doing no changes.
Okay.
Now, is there the Island Village service areas?
There already is a Island Village service area.
So nothing new.
No.
It's already in there.
It's all one big, so all townhomes and all 4 phases of Island Village are one big service area.
So yeah, just using that 4% isn't impacting,
No.
we're missing out on something or.
Their budget's gonna be impacted because of additional townhome turnover. So calculating their budget this year is gonna be tricky because we don't know when we're gonna take on new buildings. Because it depends on when Mattamy builds it, when it's fully sold, and when we've done our however many punch walks with them before we accept it. I mean, like the 1A turnover took a year and a half to take the first building on. 2A, we're ready to take on the first 3 buildings. And it took them like 6 months to get to it.
One's on Seawall Way, there's 9 of them that are not sold.
No, the ones on Silver's Boulevard.
Yeah, Celebration Boulevard are also,
So those 3 buildings are the ones that they're looking to turn over to us.
yes.
We did our final
Yeah,
inspection,
that makes sense.
and then I think it's on the board packet to accept with a effective date of August 1. So their budget is gonna be insane for the next 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So
You got that right.
hopefully soon they'll start seeing some more economy of scale.
Good news, is they'll still be under warranty for a little bit.
1 year.
1 year, I know. Okay. Anything else in other income anybody wants to talk about?
Just one comment with the covenants, these that just seem to have dropped off the top.
The board waives everything when people come into compliance.
Has that always been the case? Or just more recently?
It's been more. It's increased recently over the last couple of years, but yeah,
'Cause,
traditionally, if somebody appeals and they're in compliance, the
in
board waives everything.
2024, we brought in what, 85,000? And then 2025 was 5,500.
That 85,000 was 40,000 of it was 2 people. Gary,
You should never really count on covenants fees. Because it can be just 1 or 2 people and it's an anomaly. But if you keep it really high, people think that you're trying to make money off my problems. And you don't want that perception.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone is maintaining their properties or fixing things timely, so they're under fees, that's a great thing.
Just keep it low.
And
Mhm.
5 is really low, but if that's what it is, that's what it is.
I mean, the emphasis from the board for the last 3 years has been kinder, gentler covenants. So we're giving extensions, we're working with them, and when they come into compliance, they're given an appeals form. And then the board waives their fees.
Especially now that the new meetings are in the board meetings. There seem to be almost, I think, 1 so far in the last 3 meetings. that
They opposed.
They opposed.
It was happening the same way during the appeals when it was separated out. They have, yeah,
Interesting. Interesting.
those were 5 minutes.
Yeah. All right. We want to talk about general events or do we want to move on to other things first?
We've given up on the digital ID funding.
No, digital ID, we're counting in community admin fee income because
Oh.
that's where it's getting booked. We had tried to call it out, but it's more of a pain than it's worth, but they are selling, you are seeing revenue from it.
Good.
I guess only comment on general events is that we continue to see less and less, right? But why are we not able to bring in some type of income for these events? So I know there's the push of it should be free to the homeowners and everything else, and they pay their dues and all that kind of stuff, but I would hope there'd be some type of revenue generator to attempt to get to a break even rather than all these being net negative for the most part.
I'll just say that in some instances, depending on the type of event, you don't always have people that are interested in sponsoring for residents only, especially if their business is already in the community. We see net neutral, net positive events in the CCS side because they're large events that pull people in.
Sponsorship to
Yeah.
break it.
Mhm.
Right.
So, I mean, the team it's an emphasis that's been put on their plate to try to focus on bringing in more revenue. But we also don't want to overpromise and underdeliver on the revenue side for resident events.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the spreadsheet that I put in for general events that show both the income and the expense for each one. Kind of shows you the big losses.
Yeah, which again, we expect to have losses because we're throwing events, but
Right.
try to minimize that as best we
One
can.
line,
Right, but
Other way.
the, like Easter egg hunts,
so you see the total.
Of this whole
So, I mean, we can wait till we get a little bit further through the year to kind of finalize these numbers to see what they're doing on these later events in the year and update them.
yeah, what do they charge for father-daughter dance?
It's what, 45 for the
45.
first couple and then 25 for each kid.
And that number's at the recommendation of the committee.
Yeah, because we're going from a 14,000 loss to a $22,000 loss.
On occasion when you get sponsorship for that.
So that might go down depending on where they decide to hold father-daughter.
Okay,
It's a higher number now because they might be holding it out at CCFC, which requires more of an expense for the stage,
yeah.
the
yeah.
dance floor and the tent. If it's at Lakeside, that number will cut back down to closer what it is this year. The committee just hasn't made up their mind, so we put in the higher number.
Yeah. The other one, I thought this year we would expect Founder's Day to be more expensive.
It is, it's in CCS.
Oh. So that's-
Almost all founders' expenses are in CCS this year. So you're seeing a drop on the resident side because it's all getting spent on the public side.
Okay, but next year it's not.
Next year, it's not a public event because it's not a 10-year on an anniversary, the
Anniversary.
10-year anniversary year. So it's a standard resident only event.
It's a $19,000 cost. It's quite a bit.
What's it in
2,000 in income and 21,000 of expenses.
2025? Founders Day was $25,000. In 2024, it was 34,000.
But how much income? These are net numbers.
Oh, I'm just, okay, so in 25, the income for founders was $500.
That's it.
And there was no income in 24.
So is this an event we have to have?
Yes. Founders.
Oh, I know.
We didn't have the luau this year and you saw the social media post.
Right.
No, I didn't.
You're acting like a founder.
Saying there's up for the Hawaiian Aloha Polynesian on a Mexican holiday.
Oh, right, yeah. On Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, that's last year, wasn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Cinco de Mayo? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this year we had a Cinco de Mayo event, so. Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the biggest increases in losses,
Say that again?
biggest increases in losses. Easter egg hunt. I attend with my granddaughters.
Well, I saw, like, didn't we hire like a photographer?
Yeah, yeah. But I thought we had more donations for that.
You didn't have Easter egg hunt. You had $722 in revenue this year, no revenue the year before. And loss,
But we had budgeted 5,300 because we thought we were gonna get a bunch of.
because you had different people budgeting than different people executing the event.
Yeah,
So
So-
maybe jumping ahead a little bit, but still on general events as a subject. The expenses are budgeted for 253. Knowing that the income is coming down a little bit, do we need to push back on the events group and say 225 is the limit? How you divvy that up for the events, that's up to them, but knowing we have a tight budget this year of a lot of expenses.
Yeah.
We can't give them the full amount. 225, I think is still 12 grand more than what they had last year, so it still is increasing, but something that is a smaller number to alleviate a little bit of an increase here.
yeah, we still got, I mean, a bunch of events, so we don't know, they have projected numbers in here. It's projected is 215,000 for this year.
Well, 53 is what was on there. She
No, that's
Oh,
the 27 budget, yeah.
gotcha.
But it's the 26 estimate.
But that would be something to do for us. If we agree on 225, then that's the communication we get back to them of, can you guys make this work? Or what would you have to take out to get under that budget?
And to look at trying to raise more revenue. I mean, it's 60,000 worse than it was, than it's projected to be this year.
Right.
You know, not all residents go to these events, so everybody else has got to pay for them.
Yeah.
So kind of restricting and getting more donations, I think, would be a very positive thing.
That is what, a 17.64 increase for general events appropriate for the community. I think that's a little bit high as a single line item.
Agree.
So I'm okay leaving the income as it is, but then do we cap the expenses at 225?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We can start that.
Because I don't want to be picking what events to shrink down.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
This is the-
They should decide
Yeah.
which ones.
Give
they
me
need to
target
have.
Yeah, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we suggesting read a 253 down to 220,
225.
25.
On general events, if there's a discussion.
Any other discussion? Okay. Move on to Parks and Rec income.
32. 3,000 increase.
So yeah, 851 private rentals, we not 6,000 really all we're expecting as far as being up and running for a full year. That I don't know what it was prior, but we only brought in 6,000 before 851 was an eyesore. That number seems low to me.
24's actual for 851 was $658.
Which year?
24
24, 851 was it open?
was open for half the year. And it didn't have walls.
So they kicked out the Christmas event, right? Trying to have it, so
23 was 1504 in revenue. I'd have to go to a different spreadsheet to find.
1,500. So then that's never been any type of revenue generator.
Not really.
And CCFC, we don't get anything out there. I thought they do different concerts or stuff occasionally.
Not private rentals, no.
No, okay.
Partner program, yes, but private.
Gotcha.
We're looking at
Sorry,
trying
yeah, I
to,
was looking at private rentals, not partner program.
yeah. So we're looking at trying to open that up because Experience Kissimmee helps find locations for like soccer tournaments and field hockey tournaments and stuff. And they're always looking for locations in the area. So we're trying to partner with them to see if they can come in. We used to have them come in and use the fields, and it was a good revenue driver up there.
That was truly net positive.
Was
even
it
though
never
there was
gonna be a
some
net
wear and
positive?
tear on.
Oh, no, they paid for all the damage. Yeah,
Oh.
so they pay for rental and they pay for any damage to the fields.
So it was like a security deposit of whatever is destroyed. they're
And then in the
responsible for.
contract, it's, if there's damage above the security deposit, they agree to pay.
Okay, so there are protections there. Very good.
And they're all reputable events because they're coming in through and brought to us from Experience Kissimmee.
Then Island Village is only 8,000 for smart grounds. There's nothing else that you're currently bringing in or a projection of when the new money center. goes in,
There's
what they're gonna need for that.
Spark, that 8,000 is Spark Grounds and the other program that just started out there.
Yeah, but there's bridal showers. There's
That's different than partner program. This is the private
not part
rental.
of the
Yeah.
program, talking about the rentals.
Island Village private rental is $15,000.
If they could reduce the cost, I think you'd get a lot more rentals.
That's a rec committee recommendation and a
know.
board
Doesn't
decision.
matter.
I
Yeah.
know. That's my neighbor.
It could be a finance committee recommendation.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just that,
Why not?
The
there are
finance
so
committee
many,
sat in, or two members of the finance committee were invited to sit in when they started doing this new rate discussion. And Mike was the only one that joined, and I think maybe Andrew Beninati did. So they were part of these discussions when we redid the whole rate schedule.
oh, okay. Yeah. No, it's, well,
It's based on.
you know
comps
that,
in
you
the
know
area.
the numbers. right?
Yeah, it's
They
based
used
on
to-
comps in the area. We're still the cheapest one in town, in the area.
What?
Yeah, if you compared like Reunion and other,
Oh, you're going that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. $500. But,
yeah, it's $10,000 to replace the marble table that got broken.
Well, who broke it?
The Democrats of Celebration.
They should have paid for it.
They did.
Oh, they did?
No comment.
Oh. There you
Put it
go.
on Kamala's tab.
No, it's just that so many more people are coming down there, to see phase two and then they go to see the pool and all that kind of stuff. And they're always looking in that room, like trying to see because it is nice. It really is.
Basically, this $20,000 increase is driven by Island Village.
In revenue?
What I'm looking at, yeah, revenue.
Yeah, because we didn't have a partner program in Island Village previously, so that's a good upside for you.
Yep.
And then, yeah, we were budgeted for 30K in revenue for private rentals because of the huge year we had in 25, but it's not panning out this year.
Right.
So we leveled it back out to kind of a medium number.
Okay.
So we've had a lot of partner programs that we've kept in the wings that we couldn't bring on board because we didn't have space because of 851.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're trying to bring them on board now. And then hopefully we'll see some additional revenue there, but we don't want to count on it before we have those contracts in place.
Gotcha.
Well, you got 3 months to try to head them down for next year.
I'm still in the middle of camp and 4th of July. So until that's done, nothing.
I didn't say this weekend, I said.
Give me August, I'll start talking about that.
Okay. You want to move on to electricity? Or are there parks and rec expenses anybody wants to talk about?
It's going down, so.
Yeah. What's summer breakout looking like this year?
You'll see a net positive like you always do.
Yeah. Good.
It was sold out within like a heartbeat, because a lot of the local, Compres didn't do their program this year, so people were scrambling. We still have wait lists for every week.
And you're at capacity for what can be handled.
We
in the
even, we
space.
bumped it up by 5 kids, and in some instances, 7. Because there was so much popularity around certain field trips. So, yeah.
On the electricity, the Big Island, what is that?
So that's the phase 2 amenity center. We just finally got the real name from Mattamy. What else?
That's not really.
So-
Big Island. It's
So,
Island
that's-
Village.
okay, so that's $45,000 your budget. That
I think
building-
that's high.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that building the
because
same
that-
size as this building?
The Saltwater Club at Celebration.
What- That was called?
That's what Mattamy named it. They emailed me yesterday.
What, the saltwater club? That's.
Healthy.
Because we're in the middle of this.
Wait.
Saltwater.
We're calling it the Big Island Amenity Center because it's on, if you look at it
Some
on,
people
on Google Maps,
Maps,
that
Big
area
Island.
is called the Big Island.
Oh, okay.
But it's,
Didn't know that.
no, it's much smaller than phase 1.
Bigger than it looks.
Wow. Fitness center is a lot smaller.
The fitness center is
The
smaller, but
community room's a lot smaller.
they're 2 rooms.
What I'm
Yeah,
looking at
Split.
is this building is 40,000 budget. And this is 36,000 square foot. I don't know how big the Big Island is or Salt River.
So
whatever
we
it's called.
based it on a hybrid between Lakeside because of the pool heaters and Island Village Phase 1 amenity center.
Okay,
So
kind of blended those.
we blended them together to get the electrical, the water, the maintenance.
Gotcha.
And we used the maintenance that we saw from the first year of Phase 1 to help inform the Phase 2 maintenance. So
All right, so the basis for that number. Good.
Well,
we
So we
didn't
could
throw it.
update that name then.
I still think it's a little bit high.
Yeah, but if Lakeside is gonna be 50,000, I would think it's comparable to that.
It's not as big.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
For
That,
Lakeside.
that pool,
So
thought it was gonna be a lap pool, but there's.
Oh, they're gonna think it's a saltwater
No,
pool.
it's 5
is it?
feet at its deepest.
Yeah, it's gonna be a saltwater
It's
pool.
5
They're
feet,
gonna think it's
right.
a saltwater
So
pool.
it's not that deep. Some of the areas is 3 to 4 feet. So it's not gonna be like Lakeside.
We didn't say we pulled numbers straight across. We use them as a basis to adjust numbers.
Yeah. No, actually, I just think 35 would be a better number, but that's.
Is it a saltwater pool?
That's got a
They're gonna
saltwater
think-
name.
Hey,
Okay.
guys, can I ask a question? It's a geothermal heater on that pool. There should be efficiencies on that.
Yes, and we base the heater and the electrical number on the lakeside numbers.
And the other thing
We
is
use-
the salt water. The salt
It's not
water
a
pool.
saltwater pool. It's not a saltwater pool.
Oh, it isn't. Okay, well, okay, thank you.
No pools in Celebration are saltwater pools.
The partisan.
Well, they actually should be because it's very easy to convert them over to salt water. I've done it. And
Yep.
it's more cost effective and uses less chemicals. So, and as we move forward, if there's opportunities to go to a saltwater, there's a lot more advantages to it than disadvantages.
Spring Park and Lakeside were saltwater many months ago. I don't know why they would convert it back.
I would say 35, maybe a little bit aggressive. Just looking at, Spring Park is 41, Lakeside is 49. So if you want to go down to 40, I can support that, but I think 35 is too much.
All right, 40.
It's going once.
That's really just rates have gone up overall for electricity because we were at what, like 170 a couple of years ago, and then now we're at 200, and then obviously we're bringing a lot of amenities, but still the energy costs are not helping us as far as what this cost is.
And we'll check in with Duke probably late end of this month, early next month to see what their projected rate increase is for next year. They usually provide us a basis number, which is what informs our percentage when we draft the budget.
Makes sense.
Okay. Moving on. Water. Speaking of which, since I lived in born to the park, now in village, it's irrigation's like 24 hours a day now. It just keeps running and running and running and running, and a lot of times it's just spitting out because
There's no pressure.
there's no pressure. But I don't know what's going on because I
We're-
never see anybody down there.
We're watering at random times throughout the day when we think we have pressure. They're manually turning on and off the water.
They're manually
Yes,
because it's like, I swear, like 24 hours
I know. It's
straight.
the dog park's been watering at random times throughout the day too. It's just to keep the sod alive.
Yeah, but we are in rainy season, so. We are
It just started raining though. You're
Used
still in
the
the
other
middle of a
day.
drought.
Yeah, there you go.
It poured yesterday.
Okay. Move on from water.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're good.
Lauren or Ray, anything
No, I mean,
still there?
everything is essentially a 3% increase except passive parks because we're accounting for the new parks in phase 2B and 2A. And for 851, we use 2023 as a reference with inflation, so.
Okay, landscape maintenance.
Is the contract amendment for the new
Yep.
Iowa Village plus,
That's it here.
68.
and that's a hard number we know, or we're guessing?
It will get firmed up when I get the proposals from Exquisite on the first parts of the parks that we're turning over. And we're trying to get the square footage of sod in the other parks from Madany, so he can give us a ballpark estimate for those parks.
Is the mulching straw twice a year?
Yes. Mulch is expensive. I will use a lot.
Yeah, I know. Too much.
Is 23,000 gonna cover the Island Village?
That's a contemplate for the seasonal flowers.
No, for the
Mulch.
mulch, right? We're going
Oh.
from 150 to 173. Now we have the mulch Island Village.
Yes, there was a method to coming up with that to include the new park.
Look to see if there's pine straw or mulch.
Use them interchangeably.
Yeah, pine straw, is cheaper though. So- Really?
From the nuggets?
I mean,
I think
it's somewhat, it's a little bit cheaper, but it's not gonna.
Cheaper than mulch.
What was that, pine straw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to the nuggets.
Yeah.
All this is cheaper.
Well,
Well,
the nuggets are going all over the place. So even though they're cheaper, you're replacing them more often. Then
Yeah.
it's a mess. And then pine straw, you always get the argument of Celebration residents don't like it.
I'm one of them.
I know like Roseville Corner, like we switched to the nuggets, because the pine straw went everywhere.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean,
sure pine
The
straw.
line is mulch / pine straw.
Right, yeah.
In some areas, we use pine straw that's not as visible, and other areas that are more visible, we use mulch. I think Eric referred to it as a mullet for ground cover.
It looks reasonable for the increase, given the new parks and the dog park increase.
And then remember, partway through next year, 6 months through next year, you'll have the 3.5% increase on the contract price.
Right.
What's the 19,000 for the dog park incorporated?
Sand and sod replacement twice a year.
Yeah.
So we're not taking it out of thin air.
And then the,
You have a resident question if you wanna.
no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, this is minor, but I'm looking at something small so to explain how you project 12 months. So I'm looking at irrigation repairs for fiscal year 26, budgeted 5,000. 4 months into the year, 789. Do we really think we're gonna spend 5,000 by the end of the year? Is that historical correct?
Historically, we've left it at 5. Last year, we spent 4,400.
4,400?
In 2024, we spent 10,500.
Right. You have the history on it.
Yeah.
Just on our best.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and actually through May, it went up to 2,004.
Okay,
So
so
if,
it's kind of seasonal.
yeah, so
Okay,
five,
okay.
Not
yeah,
unreasonable.
5,000 is a reasonable number. Sorry.
No,
No,
okay.
that's
And then
okay.
Last thing I was just gonna ask about, the annual replacement of trees, the first line of it.
Yeah, the annual replacement and tree trimming.
Hmm.
So a
So-
bush dies, I'm replacing it out of this line instead of taking a $200 bill to the board for reserve expenditures.
And then you said tree trimming.
Tree
in there,
trimming,
So
yeah.
that's the parts that now we're responsible for.
Mhm.
That's baked in there. So what's kind of the breakout, if you can estimate it, of what's tree trimming versus replacement?
I don't know,
Tree trimming is not bad maintenance fee, right?
up to 10 feet, anything above that. We have to pay them extra for it. Or like the tree, I have to remove the tree in front of the fire hydrant in front of town hall, so that's gonna get taken out of that. Cause the fire marshal told me to remove it. Go look, it's blocking the hydrant. They would have to bore through the tree to get to the hydrant. And then we had to remove a tree on this easement because it was impacting the stormwater drain, so that came out of this. So,
There's a tree on Jasmine that has to be replaced.
is it my responsibility or CDD's?
I think it's CDs.
Okay.
Because it's in between the curb and the
And
sidewalk.
it's
and
not next to a park?
No,
Okay, not my problem.
when
Yeah,
somebody
I'm
comes
just
out
looking
and
at it 'cause,
replaces it.
Our 4 month, 4 months here today is about 14,000, so.
Yeah,
Are
we
we
just did a,
expecting to use that 100,000 this year or not?
yeah, because we are gathering bids for tree trimming at Spring Park. Which was one of the reasons why this number was higher, because we need to do targeted tree trimming higher up. So that we can try to start growing sod in the easements.
Right.
So I think that, and then. There was another part that they wanted to do. That they're getting bids for, and we did spend some money out of this line in May and June.
May year to date's 18,100. So,
And then June, there was more tree trimming.
William, we just do 2,000. That buyer tripping.
Yeah, we just spent another $3,000
So,
this
yeah,
week.
Is there a schedule of what parks you're doing specific tree trimming, or which ones are coming due, or is it an every other year thing, or is it annually we need to do?
We're
certain things?
as they're doing the monthly park grading, we have a kind of a draft schedule that we try to follow throughout the year, but as they do monthly park grading, it adjusts based on what we're seeing.
And I think this is kind of like a first year that we actually funded this line this much, so we don't have that much information. So,
Well, we'll monitor over the next couple of months and see where we're heading.
Yeah, just be curious.
This is also a lever that we can throttle back on if we need to try to help with the deficit.
I was just curious what the plan is is this 100,000 a third of the parks or a quarter of the parks, every 4 years for rotation? Is this, we're doing everything this year?
No, it's
Like,
really
what is-
just-
What is that breakup of? Is the expectation 100,000 every single year, or is it 100,000 now because we're front loading a lot? And then maybe it goes down to 50,000 a year, something like that.
I think you're more at the $100,000 a year range, because you gotta remember, as your parks age and the plants age, they start to die out, or randomly the deers decide to eat every type of this plant in this park for Lord knows what reason, so they all need to be replaced. So, I mean, this addresses the small replacement needs in all of the parks and celebration in a year. So right now, I think you're at 93 passive and active parks. Yeah. Not including the new ones.
Yeah, but I think to your point, it would be good to have some type of schedule for maintenance staff on the parks,
They do.
right? Because sorry. Sorry. No. Yeah, they do. Okay. You know, to your point, keeping the trees trimmed so they don't go too high, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have a schedule, but it adjusts throughout the year as we do, because we do monthly park grading, so this park, oh, it's starting to look better, maybe we don't need to replace this, but now this park has gone downhill, so we need to address it over here, so.
Yeah. I just don't want it to be like CCDB that decided, they're not gonna come to Island Village because it's too young.
We don't do that.
Yeah, the tree for my house is like this. So,
300 yards and be dead since they put the new sidewalk in.
yeah,
They killed it.
okay, all right. So, yeah, we might want to look at this. We'll monitor it over the next couple months.
I mean, if you take the 100,000, if there's 93 passive and active parks, that's a little over $1,000 a park a year in terms of standard maintenance. That's minimal.
Without more information.
And that-
I could go
that
down to
includes-
100,000 for this and make it flat, but the 13, I don't have an issue with either.
The 113 is contemplating the 15 new 2B parks.
Okay. Like I said, I think we can monitor this over the next couple of months. See where we're gonna end up this year. All right, pool operating expenses.
Famous pools.
This is the number that we're waiting for the vendor to confirm, or we'll be taking agreement for next year.
The chemicals.
And contract.
And you'll have that.
They went
you'll have
out,
60 days.
we gave them the specs for the vendor, both vendors the specs for the pool last week, because we finally got that from Mattamy.
Okay. So when you hear back from them.
We'll update this, yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, just in general, just full repairs seem to just continue to run hot. Just aging pools and things of that nature. And
Aging pools, they're getting used. And
I know there's that one issue of what we just did the pool servicing, but then we had to pull it all up to actually fix the issue underneath it.
it's still not done, we patched it.
So I guess. what
That's
kind of-
going to the board at the end of July to do. That'll come out of reserve, so.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, what's our kind of ongoing rate with full repairs of, do we need to pull more stuff from reserve to actually fix up these things or not?
We're booking everything to reserves that we reasonably can. A lot of these expenditures are just health department requirements, like the rings get broken or the hooks get broken because people are playing with them, or a light comes out because it gets kicked.
Yeah, as long as they're one-off random repairs, that's explainable, but if seems like there's yearly issues of pulls and whether it's not upkept to a certain standard or just aging infrastructure, something that continues to get. I guess what I'm saying is we have older pools and higher expenses, and when you cross that line of you need to replace something entirely. And obviously that comes from reserve, not operating, but
Right.
something that hopefully we can alleviate some of the operating costs for pool repairs if we get to that point.
Yeah, I mean, any repairs or replacement of equipment related to the pools that we can book reasonably to reserves, we take it to the board.
How about replastering? That goes in reserves, right?
Yes, the resurfacing. Yep, both the deck and the interior.
Splash pad. Obviously, got some issues, but how long is that warranty for?
Depends on what piece it is.
Sizes.
But yes, we're working with Splash Pad USA on any warranty issues.
Yeah, so this is just, would you hear back from the pool chemicals and contract? dictate what this overall number looks like.
Okay, repairs and maintenance.
Favorite topic.
There's one number that stuck out to me. Can you guys guess it?
Exactly.
Why is shop maintenance $65,000?
Well, Bruce's argument is every park and every location, every park and every location is different parts. And when he's trying to go out and buy stuff in bulk, he can. He has to buy certain pieces for this place, certain pieces for this other place, certain pieces for even he was today complaining about the paint as well. He was saying I having to purchase like certain colors for this stuff, certain colors for this other stuff, and it would be so much better and so much efficient cost wise if we can just like put everything under the same structure and use the same pieces, same thing and everything, and cheaper for this. But in this case, it's the main line that he requested for us to do an increase over 3%. So
What is that maintenance specifically entail? You're saying just,
Light bulbs, parts.
yeah,
Toilet, the flushing mechanism for toilets that everybody likes to kick.
Should.
So if you're putting this in the $65,000 for this accumulation of material and so forth, do you allocate then what is used for a certain area? Do you allocate it to that area?
no,
No, you
this
just keep
this
it
would be for the shop and we're trying to allocate as much as possible whenever we do, whenever we have a credit card expense, we sit down with these and want to understand what they use these pieces for. And we try to allocate those pieces. for the
That's
expenses. Yeah,
But the 65,000 is just a general.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, we've only spent 4,500 through the first 5
For example, we recently bought paint to repaint our office in the Sycamore Street, the building that we were before. So that will be put here to the maintenance shop.
At a shop, we spent $20,000 as of 4 months.
Shop? Yeah, 2,000.
Yeah.
We're projected to go to 62 by the end of the year.
Year, right.
yeah, I guess I want a better understanding of what that line item is and what it entails. And I,
To refurbish,
because
the
to,
So it should be
benches,
like shop material.
it's shop materials and tools that get broken.
Right.
I mean, if you want, I can put together, I can go in detail about all the English that we had.
or maybe
here
just,
today.
yeah, do the year today with the 20,700 is what is actually being spent.
You're
I think
also
maybe the
remember-
name,
Yeah,
I think the name is kind of skewing.
Yeah.
so, because it also, you're saving money every time they refurbish a bench. Those benches are what? $8,000? Yeah. The trash cans, every time they refurbish a trash can, you're saving $6,000. Every time they refurbish a doggy pot, you're saving a couple $1,000s there.
I don't
So
know. To your point, I don't know if we change it to maintenance general instead of maintenance shop.
like
Because
materials.
that's a little more
Yeah.
overarching of what it is, where when I saw it, I thought you were spending $65 on that.
It's in the shop.
Yeah, it's free. What the heck are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
So, but.
We're having parties. No, so just general.
General.
materials.
Charcuterie boards.
Porta potties are
That's okay.
costly these days.
The porta potties do get booked there.
But I think general is better than shop, just from
So
an
I'll just,
understanding that you try to book it to the locations, but in the event that it falls outside of those locations or it's across various locations, then you would book it. to
Or
general.
miscellaneous.
what about
Maybe
general materials?
General materials probably. What he
Yeah.
described as general material.
True.
That's good time.
So rename the line tomorrow.
Yeah.
Gary would like to be recognized. Are you good with Jerry talking?
Yes.
Gary.
Gary.
Gary,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm
like,
sorry,
who's
Gary.
Gary?
I'm having a moment.
I don't sound like this is a criticism, but I'm gonna ask it anyway, because I used to track this in another job. How much of the shop materials is wasted? In other words, paint that's expired or dried up because we didn't close the can. Loss of tools on the job site. And there's a lot of, if you own a business like Walmart, there's loss because people walk out the door. I'm not criticizing, not saying anyone's being a thief, but you lose, paint's expensive and you lose it when it dries up. You buy it with every intent to use it. and then somehow you never use it. So it's a lost account. And does someone track that to see how much you actually throw out the garbage?
We track inventory, not necessarily loss, but I can talk to Luis about it.
Think about it. Sorry. I don't know.
No, I mean, I know they're trying to, I know they are buying paint specific to the job that they're doing and rather than by bulk, so it's not sitting in the shop because that's not air conditioned very well either. So that's also gonna impact the
Exactly.
life cycle of
And
paint
that actually makes it more expensive.
and it makes it more expensive
Yeah.
and everything's painted a different color.
Yeah, hello. Update our see with it.
Yeah, so we bought paint, we bought paint last year to repaint the offices in the back of America building. Then we bought paint this year to repaint the offices in the Sycamore Street, which was a different paint.
When we
When we
exit,
moved
we
on,
have to leave
yeah.
it the way we found it.
Oh, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask you. Did the red pay for that?
Gosh.
Well,
Really
anyway,
deposit.
it's a
It's
loss that you
cheaper
should. look
if we
into.
do it than if they do it, bill us.
True.
Yeah, it's always cheaper to do it yourself. Or find
We
someone to
asked
do it
what
for
the
you.
price would be if they did it, and we said, do it ourselves.
So then, yeah, Ray, I guess the comment you
Yeah.
made that I want you to pull through further would be, is there synergies of, should we be using Sherwin-Williams paint for everything for certain things, or, you know, thinking of like the lights in the parks, you know, is that a certain thing? Trying to find that, yeah, this is a celebration standard of paint or whatever it is. And
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily the brand, it's more of the standardizing of colors.
well, that's it, well, for paint, but just any other issue, right? That
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to buy, you know,
5 different light bulbs.
yes. But there's one
More
light,
than that. Yeah, I mean, I think there are synergies to be achieved. However, the initial cost to convert everything needs to be accounted for as well.
well, it has to be a piecemeal.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a switch overnight that
Yeah.
everything flips, but as you move to the future state, how many steps does it take to get there?
Yeah, just, as you're talking about the bigger picture, looking at these numbers. If you look at the $43,000 difference and you look at what's being added to the budget, it's not unreasonable.
Oh, like the breakdown, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you also gotta remember, all those new parks have bollard lights in them. There's string lights in there, which we hate because they always get
Get
broken.
rid of them.
There's new benches, there's new doggy pots, and they put up the cheap doggy pots, so we know they're gonna break. The amenity center is gonna have standard maintenance that needs to be done in it.
Well, I will say, if you guys are at the 349 projection for 2026, I'll count that as a win. It seems like we've gone over that the past couple of years.
Yep.
So
We're trying.
I know we shortchanged you a couple of
Yeah,
years, that was a low number.
2 years ago.
Hopefully now you're hitting or staying below it, that you have adequate resources.
Okay,
I guess the only other large one would be Lakeside, right?
Yeah.
That's what, 56,000, so why is that so high? It's a specific area.
And sports basketball courts. Jones room, playground.
That just has so many
Yeah,
amenities that
There's so many
require,
pieces, yeah.
and none of that would be coming from reserve at all. Like the tennis courts, when they fix that, or,
Well, when we resurfaced and that went from our reserves, but if, like, we just had to, a crack developed in it. In the court, so we had to sand it down and refill and paint on top of it. And then somebody wrote their name and was here in the white paint, so we had to buy the white paint to sand it down, put some sand in it, repaint it. So all the skid marks that get left there, by the e-bikes. It's a heavy use area.
well, yeah, it's downtown, so. There's plenty of foot traffic. Okay.
okay. Problem of janitorial supplies. Safety and security.
We're just waiting on one number, right? I mean, contract.
The monitoring contract, yeah.
And we're planning to have a cadence again this summer.
It's highly effective.
Another-
Yeah, I get like one call instead of 30.
Yeah,
No, not even one call a day. We were getting multiple calls a day before we had them do the pool, detail and gym detail. Now getting like one complaint every couple weeks. That's because they're mad they had to show their ID.
there are some people that do that. It's like, it's even in the fitness center, because, everybody's gotta have an ID. And so they'll have their parents' ID and then start yelling at the cadence people. So they're like, it's my mother's ID. Well, yeah, but that, not you. So,
The gentleman was screaming at one of the case officers today in Island Village.
oh, really?
He was there with his wife who had an ID, but he refused to bring his own, buy another ID to access it because she had an ID.
At the fitness center? Really? Oh, I missed that one. That must have been before I got there.
Those Island Village
Her
people.
husband.
No, they're not Island
She was
Village
very
people.
nice.
Right.
Yeah, believe me, because if they're Island Village people, they'd go right back to their house to get the ID. But they're coming from all over. That 4 foot deep pool has got little kids in it, going like crazy.
So I know we were approached by the technology committee regarding cameras.
Yeah.
Does that kind of fall under maintenance for the different parts, or is there a safety security line item that?
That's
you're looking-
in the IT budget, but
That's what I-
most of the camera stuff is, the camera replacement is a reserve item.
All right, that's under IT, not.
Yeah,
safety
that's
security.
So the safety and security is the pool monitoring, the weekend and when 7 days a week when school's out, guard. And then the monitoring is really the fire panels. And then the fire certification.
So I guess it's warranty and all these camera replacements.
Most of your cameras are so outdated, they need to be.
Yeah, no, but when you
Yeah,
replace
when
them,
you replace them, there is warranty.
1 year warranty, do we know?
No, there's usually longer.
Oh,
It depends on what
It varies on the
specifically it
brand.
is, yeah. So they're right now, they're evaluating the difference between Axis and Milestone as a operating system and the Unify cameras and Unify switches. So,
okay.
because those are the two brands that you have here, so we're trying to uniform.
Gotcha.
Have they gotten any closer to what their recommendation is?
We are waiting for their interviews of the different contract, the vendors. So the vendors are proposing dates to come in and meet with that committee.
So depending on the vendors, will depend on what cameras are used.
No, they just want to interview the vendors in terms of like warranty issues, what's their service level agreements if they have one. What their capability is for integration, what their future proofing endeavors are. So their recommendation, that's one piece that they're looking at out of the whole, that they want to talk to them, please.
All right. Move on to other operating expenses.
One big line item.
What is the 10,000 for the multi-function court build out, other operating expenses?
Whatever expenses, like in terms of if there's any outfitting expenses that we need for that. Any extra nets we might have to buy next year.
Okay. Yeah, so you're.
It would be what would be in a maintenance or a Parks and Rec line associated with that amenity, but we don't know, we don't have any idea what it's gonna be, so we put a number.
When it's gonna start or.
Yeah.
That stuff. at this point.
So, the draft RFP is written, it's getting critiqued, and the goal is the RFP goes out at the end of July.
If that's the case, would you just wanna? Would you almost have that under a maintenance number? General maintenance or something like that, rather than other operating?
It doesn't matter. I mean, bottom line's the bottom line.
Yeah.
So it's.
We're just trying to call
Yeah.
it out. We're trying to call it out. So
So
for
it's-
28 budgeting, we have something to base it on. So it's not hidden in another line.
You want to include that?
Then maybe instead of. Then what do you want to call it like maintenance future, something like that?
Like
You're gonna have a line
advanced,
item,
Multifunction cord maintenance.
because
Yeah,
like
we might not do
proposed,
it, maybe
yeah,
something else, so why not have something more generic of what that
right,
item is, rather than something so specific it can't be used for anything else?
right.
Function cord.
No, I think he's more saying
Like maintenance, new amenity or something.
like a proposed new amenity project.
We're trying to tie it specifically to the multifunction cord,
Function.
not a
I think
generic.
what Andrew,
Right, but as you go from year to year, you're not gonna have multi-function core on every.
Every single
Where you might
year.
have a new amenity that will, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna have a dollar amount for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can call it something more general, but then you can be specific saying this line item is for multi-purpose cores only.
right,
Rather than like when you send a 3-year comparative and you got year-to-date building expenses.
Yeah.
That's zero for so long, but you're still gonna have to show it on there,
yeah,
just as a line item.
New minute operating multifunction.
So not against 10K, just what you call
I'm
it.
just saying new amenity operating multifunction.
Yeah, that's fine. No amenity operating.
And then we have $20,000 in there because I don't know what's gonna come in phase 3. I mean, I know what we're getting, but I don't know what.
So again, I would put those all under new amenity, call it 30,000, and then you can earmark it saying 20 for IV and 10,000 is for multi-purpose. Just cleaning up the look of it.
We discussed the big line item. Joint committee,
CJC.
Okay, why don't we do that at the end?
Okay.
Because I'm sure we're gonna have plenty of conversation on that, so,
I mean, I
and
think,
again, it's not our board that has the total control.
Right,
That is
exactly.
Bill, so,
actually, we have a real say, don't we?
So we'll put this off to the end.
yeah, you guys are okay with that?
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, if you guys are okay with it, I think 30,000 and just group that to.
Yeah, that's
the
fine.
cost, and then
Oh, I don't think-
if there are other stuff from year to year,
I don't
that's the bucket we use.
Okay, professional fees. I guess you're expecting more legal fees. 15,000.
I don't know what's gonna happen at the end of the year. I don't know how many contacts I'm gonna have to send to Charlie.
The audit really 20,000, I thought that was 25. Where it was increasing,
For 2025.
yeah, this past year, I think.
We'll double check the audit.
40,000, yes, 27. Oh, the audit?
Yeah.
Oh, the audit was 20,000, yes.
20,000, and
Yeah.
that's expected for future too. That's
If we
fine.
keep this in company, I can reach out to them and ask them for a price.
Yeah, and the only thing I saw here is legal fees, a little bit of wiggle room, and then town architect, a little bit of wiggle room. But
Yeah.
if you want to go from 20 to 15 or 20 to 10 to try to minimize that, I know ARC has done a much better job of not relying on it as much, so
Yeah.
that's much appreciated from us, but
Yeah.
trying to keep that number down, 15 or 10, I'm good with either, and then legal fees, if we drop that to 30 or 35. Not a huge drop, but
No, I would drop legals to 30.
30
Town
and
architect.
15?
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I would say I would leave legal fees at 40 because in 24, you spent $41,000.
Okay, we
Is that for,
What year?
2024.
2020.
is that for the 51 contract review?
No, that was 25. That was 2025.
but 24, was that due to the two covenants collections or anything?
Those get billed separately. legal fees associated with covenant enforcement or covenants collections, those fees get billed to the person paying the fees.
So we spend 40,000 in 2024.
I talk to Charlie every week, contract review, anytime they attend a meeting or an executive session, anytime the board asks for an opinion. Some of those
That's right.
things, there's some things that annually are included as part of your larceny crime, so you get one-offs, a certain number of hours for free, a certain number of opinions for free, certain number of resolutions for free, but that only lasts so long.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
If you go by CCDD and the trend they're seeing, their legal fees are going up exponentially. So I don't think we can plan on ours going down. I think Lauren's right. It's probably 40 is a good number.
Well, we've only spent 6,200 in legal fees through May.
But you look at
Our budget.
2024 and there was a 40, and the trend with CCDD with all these sidewalks and people tripping and accidents and nuisance lawsuits, I don't think it's unreasonable to think it's going to be closer to 40, unfortunately.
Have there been many lawsuits on rural parks that we've been associated with?
Every time there's a trip at fallen celebration, we're tagged, whether it's in our parks or not.
But that's usually just filing an answer.
But then
That's
you
not
get out.
us, right?
Because
It's your insurance company.
But I guess now that I'm looking at it, yeah, 2024 there was a lot of Charlie because that was when there was the management contract renegotiations.
And you're gonna head into that next year, starting this year. And you're starting here too, so if you wanna start the contract negotiations, you're gonna have to start that end of next year.
for contract negotiations for what?
The 3-year
Three-year
contract.
management contract.
Fair manners.
Oh,
I'd be okay with doing 35 to 15.
yeah, let's
Take a little bit.
see what it is. Okay.
If I'm very sure you're gonna see a decrease in the town architect while we're review it. He's gonna be attending every meeting to revise the town, the design guidelines.
Yeah, so there's joint meetings monthly or,
It's, well, it's gonna last until next spring.
yeah,
We've got 4 scheduled in 2 months.
and then on top of that, once they're done, they're gonna have to go to legal for review.
What'd you say the timeline was for that?
It'll go till next March, and I'm just guessing because it's a joint committee meeting. Getting a quorum from both teams in order to have a meeting, it means that it gets stretched out in the future. When can we all get together and have a meeting?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that's 6 months of expenses this year, 3 months of expenses next year. So it shouldn't be too much.
Well, it's over and above because this is something we've never done. So it's over and above this normal town architect consultant. He's gonna be attending every meeting and doing home audit at home,
Just something
the town architect.
something new though.
Yeah, the
We haven't done
design
it before.
guideline review is something new.
I
It's
see
not,
how many different.
Why don't we just leave?
Because we're revising
it's only
the
$5,000.
design
only
guidelines, which is 34, 35.
There's other items.
Right. So then I guess I'd be interested in what his expected hours and billable would be, so that we can make a better projection of that, because if you're gonna have X amount of meetings that you expect them to be there, then that would be part of it. Versus what we're saying, they're gonna do work outside of meetings that we have to pay him to do
All
something.
I can say is the board on the rest. I don't see the cost going up.
Well, there's 4 meetings scheduled in the next 2 months, and then at minimum, 1 meeting a month going forward. So, and those meetings usually 2 hours long, if not a little longer, plus prep and homework.
It's been doing more.
Well, and he wrote that nice long opinion letter.
That took some coordination. Impressive. I do.
Okay.
We want to keep it at 35 and 50. Board wants to step up at that, they do that.
They can. We'll leave it. Through cut. Association communications. Not any big changes.
We're zeroing out the welcome package because we're not booking money to that line. It's just coming out of printing and copying. So there's no point in tracking it separately.
That's a good idea.
Print that many association maps every year.
We don't locally print them. We, yeah.
I know, but
Yes.
that's that big of a thing of can we not slap QR codes all over the place so they can look at it on their phone rather than printing out paper copies? They can buy it. They pay for their ID now, right? So,
No, they get two for free.
well, digital.
Why are we projecting 15,000 for elections? We didn't have a co-election this year.
We expect more than 2 people to volunteer every year.
There'll
Plus
be
there's
additional-
3 spots next year.
We won't spend 15,000, but we will have some expenditures this year prepping for next year's election.
Yeah, but you're probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that much.
No,
No,
Ray, can you change that projection to like $5,000?
yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
makes sense.
Because the 2720 was pre-printing some envelopes and stuff that can be reused. So,
And
Hasn't it always been around like 10,000?
11,000.
25, it was 17.2.
We lost Mike.
24, it was 24.8.
So it's 2. That was the
Yeah.
Yeah,
assessment plus the election.
Yeah.
So that's why that was higher. But
So you had 17,000 in 2025. Plus remember,
back.
you have
I'm back.
doors that I clean things too.
Good.
So it makes it more expensive.
that's right. Yeah, wow. Yeah, just confirm that number then for us. Over or not.
Okay, general and admin expenses. $12,000 increase for a new line. What do you mean by that?
That's the account statements that we've been charged for this year. We created a new line to track that separately.
A new line.
Yeah, it's currently the.
It's just describing the GL as new.
Oh.
The actual label of the GL is account statements.
Okay,
Which that's from what exhibit that you're referencing?
That's the master fee schedule. And it's tied into you through exhibit B.
Exhibit B. Okay. I'll take a look at that.
So for like for statement.
Oh,
Who's charging that, the bank?
No, it's every time corporate mails out a statement. $2.95 per mailed statement and $1.95 for email, $1.70 for emailed statements.
This is over and above the contract,
Yes, it's part of the fee schedule that's,
but it's over and above what's contracted.
In addition
the
to.
fee schedule is tied into the contract, but it's over and above the monthly contract fee. The fee schedule is part of the variable billing that's tagged in the exhibit.
this is because it's going to residential owners, so it's on Pro and not CGC.
Yes.
Mhm.
And all gets their own bill.
Is there any way to reduce, I guess the only way to reduce that is if more people accept it electronically. That's the only way out of this.
Or you're paying twice because they want a mailed one and an electric one.
Well, that's pick one or the other.
Mhm.
You don't get both. Everyone should just be set up as default electronic, and then you gotta come in and do paper.
You know, nobody's required that. It's just,
Yeah, but I guarantee 99% of people have a mobile phone, so they can check it. They don't need a computer.
Well, I don't think it's an option on the account statement.
You know,
If
so-
you want electronic,
You just go on your portal and it's electronic instead of,
Like you do
paper.
I
through
don't
the
think it's
portal.
on there.
You do it through the
I've
portal.
never
you
seen
should be
it.
able to do the portal. Otherwise you can call Jeanette and say, hey, sign me up for e-statements.
I've never seen it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I always pay online.
Well,
I've
if you
never
pay,
seen-
if you pay before you get, before it's, the statements are generated, then you're not getting charged for the statement. Do you get a statement mailed to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She pays online.
Yeah.
My wife paid on.
But yeah, I pay online,
Well, the statement's generated before it's due.
Oh, okay.
but I just,
Yeah, I guess. some-
So if you
Oh,
pay,
yeah.
if you pay before, like, the middle of the month before it's due, then a statement won't get generated.
Right.
oh, that's probably my problem.
But like, some people just pay the whole year up front, so they don't get billed for any statements. Gary.
Offsite storage, is that because our maintenance facility, little shack is too small?
A lot of that is parks and rec equipment and lifestyles equipment.
Yeah.
So this is something that we're working to reduce because before we were moved out of town hall, a lot of the storage here in town hall was utilized by partner programs. We had the same issue out at CCFC. This storage out there is utilized by partner programs. In part of the contract review for this year for all partner programs, we're giving them notice that, and if this is if the board approves this, we're giving them notice that they're no longer allowed to store their stuff at PROA facilities. Or if they are, they're renting the space from us at a reasonable rate.
Good idea.
So,
That's good.
so this is a line that we're trying to work on, but it's just, we need to give people notice and get board.
Okay. Why is the capital interfund repayment an expense?
Didn't Katie ask that?
Yeah, I responded to that.
But
Yeah,
she was asking about the transfer, but
She was asking about the allocation being zeroed out. We moved it to an expense, so it was an actual expenditure and not an allocation.
why?
yeah, well, so the idea was to use these funds to attack the interfund balance that we currently have. So instead of doing an allocation, we have it as an expense line. We show 250,000 in savings throughout the year, and we just transfer those $150,000 from operating to capital. And we clear out the interfund
But
balance.
transfers are never expensed.
You're paying back basically a debt to the capital account.
But you guys receive that cash.
No, we
So-
never did.
It's short funding.
It's short. It was short from
It's short,
last year.
yeah,
I
sure.
thought
Last year, there's an $800,000.
I know that, but that's just a cash that's in operating that came from capital fund people and was never transferred. So all you're doing is transferring cash to the capital fund through the intercompany account. It's not an expense.
So what we're saying is.
We're putting it
basically-
as an expense to force the repayment of it.
But why? Why are people having to pay dues?
It's the same thing as an allocation. Your capital allocation is you paying dues as pushing it over there. It's not the resale fee.
We're pretty much identifying it as you're not doing a 2026 capital allocation. You are doing a repayment of the shortage that was from a prior year.
Because we don't want to keep increasing the shortage.
Right.
So we want to force the repayment and then you can start redoing the allocation again in future years.
I still don't get it. Really don't.
Jim, I think it's that the operating fund will never have the capacity to repay. So we've got to generate new revenue to pay it. That's what it comes down to. There's not going to
Well-
be excess cash in the operating fund. We've never hit break even, so we've got to generate some additional assessments in order to pay it. So I understand how they've got it set up. It's got to be reflected in the allocations too, so it goes into and then into the capital fund. Right now, that's empty.
Well,
No,
So
if you
you're
put it in the
borrowing?
allocation, then you're double dipping, then you're
Right.
paying 250 out of operating and then you're allocating an additional so you're effectively making it a $500,000 payment.
No, I'm
Yeah,
saying
go
on the allocation that's below the line, just to show where that line's going. The last line in the P and L.
Yeah, I know what
I'm not talking about up in the revenue section. I'm talking about the allocation out of the P and L.
I know, but if you add another 250 to the allocation section, then you're making it a $500,000 payment to capital.
Right, which I don't agree with. I just didn't understand why it wasn't there. That
And that,
put in
that's the,
expense as opposed to the
that's the
allocation.
proposal of this budget is that there's no capital allocation this year. It's a catch up of a prior year allocation.
That's the way it's currently set up.
That's part of it.
I don't know, if we want to call it a capital shortfall or something of that nature, not interfund repayment. I don't know. But then the other question is, knowing that we have, you know, a huge increase this year, is it something that I get, we want to do this? Is this a necessity or nice to have? Should we zero it out entirely and then wait another year to do it? Or do we chop it in half and do 125 this year, 125 next year, and that's the catch up to try to mitigate the overall increase of the homeowners? So that's a couple different
Yeah,
ways to look at
because
it.
as long as we're receiving, yeah, I would put it out over 2 years just to lower it.
But will 250 get us the full catch up?
250?
Yeah.
Not right now.
No, we understand that. I mean,
But again, you can bump it, if we do 125 this year and you want to do 250 next year to get caught up entirely, that's your option to do that. But that's a big, that's a strain, another strain on our budget this year.
I mean, as
That's
long
something to
as,
account for, and whether we have it or not, I think the capital resale fee is gonna be more than enough to accommodate things for 1 year that we don't need to push too hard on this one. Where I know Mike's gonna disagree, he wants to go 500 on this, but it's something that I think we have some leverage, we have some movement on this one. Of how quick or how slow we want to get this resolved.
right, as long as we agree that you're going to fund the capital fund for all the capital payments that are made next year. Like you are doing now, right? I mean, you do.
I mean, that depends on your cash flow. It's
Yeah.
the same thing happens every year. At the end of the year, we have a shortfall, so we have to transfer from capital to operating to pay bills.
Well, with a 18 to 20% increase in dues, you shouldn't have a shortfall.
And then I guess.
Well, but
the
We're
other-
planning for a zero budget. It's a break-even budget,
Yeah.
so we're not gonna have any excess cash to pay anything. Right now, you have an excess of 250,000 based on the expense structure and where it's coming out. So we got zero cash flow. So if we hit the number, which we've never hit, then we'll have that 250 to move towards the interfund. But otherwise, we're back in the hole.
Yeah, if we don't do this, we will be relying solely on having savings throughout the year for us to be able to repay the interfunds. It's basically forcing having $250,000 in savings so we can just transfer that amount.
Right, but
That's if a board doesn't overspend and use it. and
Well, it is,
we
right.
do it. So.
Well, then we got
But-
the
To
other
this
problem
line item in
deepens, yeah.
general.
Yeah.
To this line item in general, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world of. It's better than miscellaneous. It's a cushion that you build into the budget of. When we set out, we expect the board to stay within the budget and not overspend. And this money will be left over to move to capital.
Right.
In a
Yeah.
given year, there may be decisions or there may be events that happen that money is used for something else, but. The intent is that this is getting caught up and then moving forward. There's maybe a little bit of cushion in the budget.
So this
Situation.
This achieves Mike's commentary of a contingency fund,
Right.
but
Right.
pinpointing that money, if it exists, is going to repay the interfund balance.
Raise the idea that you would,
$800K right now. Operating those capital
And that payment would be made
Okay.
when?
Well, the shortfall.
Because we didn't have
$600.
it's down to six.
Right.
When would that transfer occur?
We can do it on a monthly basis. Like
Pardon?
we will do it on a monthly basis, like what we do in the location.
I would say it's an end of year adjustment. Because you don't know what the year's gonna look like.
Right.
I mean, if you're moving something, just to pull it back if you needed it.
You could.
I mean, the similar thing that we're doing right now, we do $25,000 that we're transferring on a monthly basis.
Right.
Additional 25.
Which the other thing too would be, if we take this approach, do we stop at 25? That would currently doing this year.
Yeah, within that one, we replace the other, yeah. Because basically the 25 is this, and just put it.
Well, that's for a full year.
Yeah.
Right, because if you think about it, 25,000 that we're doing this year for 6 more months is 125. 125 next year gets you to 250. that gets you pretty much caught up.
Yeah, because we went from 800 to 600 something thousand between.
Yeah, but that's because we recognized like over $200,000 in April in resales, and then in May we only recognized 100 and something. So when I transfer $200,000 cash to the capital, I'm only allocated to do of $100,000, and of course, I transfer more cash than what we recognized in the month of May.
And that's what
Well,
we
we're-
agreed to last month, was a monthly transfer, right?
Of course, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, when-
Wait, the projection for the year is a $300,000 loss right now. So you might have a little bit of cash right now because of the accruals that we have from people paying in advance and so on. And we haven't earned it yet. So that's sitting on the balance sheet and the cash is there too. But we're gonna have a $300,000 deficit, so we are not gonna have these $25,000 stipends on a monthly basis or any kind of basis because
Yeah.
we're gonna be in a hole when we get to the end of the year.
Yeah, which I guess, I don't know if we can do this, but.
You got cash in the
25,000,
balance
we
sheet
should probably
now, but
Stop that now, just on
Yeah.
the annual projections for this year.
you can't not reconcile the annual projection with the cash we got in the bank right now, because that's not gonna be there as we move through the year. We're gonna go into a deficit position and operating again.
Yeah, we're gonna continue to spend that down throughout the rest of the year, right?
Correct, correct.
We're paying back something we don't have money to pay back.
Yes.
That's the summary.
So I thought the idea is that we were gonna transfer the $25,000 until we pay. And then at the end, if we needed to borrow cash again from the capital, we would be able to use it.
Yeah, take it from the capital at that point.
Yeah, but.
Oh, because we had the fund, right? Didn't we
Well,
open
you were
that
getting
fund?
caught up from what
Astoria
Astoria last year, so it's
Oh,
56,000.
Yeah,
But I think that's maybe something we can stop that practice now, but that was maybe wishful thinking. That would be
or like
excess cash.
Robbie Peter. He makes the money.
So continue with just 56,000, because that's truly funds from last year,
Yes.
but anything on top of that, yeah, it's not built in, then that'll just put 2026 worse off than it is. Because that's above and beyond what's there, which we only moved, what, 50 or 75,000?
For story.
No,
Oh,
access to
It
25.
was like 80, it was like 56,000 from story.
I know, but how many times have we taken 25 so far?
I believe only once, yeah, right now. And I did the second one now in July. Yeah, so 50,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just, I think we just stop it there. Don't do any more 25.
We're just mortgaging the future when we do that.
Bring you down this year anyways.
Yes, we are.
We can't be
I don't think-
allocating more funds.
I don't know how we think we're gonna lose $300,000 this year.
How we're gonna what?
Have a loss of $300,000.
Well, let's
So
table this for, in our finance meeting.
Mhm.
Let's talk
Yeah,
about what the end of the year looks like, whether we should
Okay.
continue on that.
Yep, I agree.
So add that as an agenda item.
But I guess for this, I would say I'm more comfortable spreading it out over 2 years and do 125,000 for 2027, 125,000 for 2028, rather than 250.
I agree.
As you think about that, I would just say one thing. This is a reset year, and we've got the cover, so to speak, of this whole CJC cost. And by
Take
getting
advantage of it.
everything reconciled in 1 year, it goes into the whole mix, and then you've got a clean sheet going forward. If you stretch it out, it's gonna be harder to deal with.
I agree.
And Mike did mention earlier, it is an easier story sell. If you
It's a
just
good
bump it
story.
up.
It's a good time for the narrative is good.
What do you mean?
Kind of
I
like
think
ripping
it's-
off the Band-Aid.
I think it's a
great
hard story if you're gonna say that the increase is gonna be 22% versus an increase of, say, 18%. That's, I think
Over
psychologically for someone reading your statement, that's a huge hit.
We partially got in trouble.
Yeah, but the
We got
longer,
in-
yeah,
The
the longer you,
The overall
drag it out.
impact is going from 19.8% down to 18.06%. So it's, I mean,
It gets harder to explain.
You fix the problem or not, don't defer it.
right.
This is a reset year.
I mean,
Everybody's
a lot of
explained.
corporations do it. You make hard choices.
Yep.
You just, you gotta,
Cash is king.
You don't do it for 1 year. That the next year is the.
I don't know, I mean, this
That's all we
is,
did.
and I guess future planning and thinking is does this line item stay on here forever? In that this is a buffer for the operating in any given year, and the intention is that it never gets used so that it can get pushed to capital.
Oh, I think it should go back to a normal allocation.
Well, we run out of space. Right, in celebration,
I mean,
like the spaces to build capital stuff.
well, once phase 3 and 4 are done in Island Village,
Right,
which is probably 4 or 5 years out.
so if anything, the interfund repayment should be in reserves after, what, 10 years or something?
Yeah, but when that sunsets, I agree with Jim. When that sunsets, then you go back to a normal allocation if you're going to do it. Because going forward, our goal or our strategy is to have a break even or make a little money in the operating fund so it stays we got the liquidity.
We're not in
Yeah.
a position to do that.
Then we make it to a point where the capital resale is 2 million, and you don't need any capital allocation from homers. If 2 million a year is enough for celebration.
Not if you're gonna do a civic center.
Oh, question. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
You're right on that one.
The word
All
debt
depends
comes
on how
into play when
size.
you talk about that.
Yeah,
Don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it sounds like they wanna keep it at 250.
I don't.
I think we should keep it.
Why?
2 keeps, 2 lower.
Why do you want to keep it?
Because I think we need to resolve this issue and get all this behind us. We're just kicking the can down the road, and I don't like that.
I say keep it or make it higher.
It's ridiculous.
I'm keeping it.
No, I say keep it.
All this is going from operating to capital. I mean,
I say keep it.
and I just think the residents, you all think they're gonna just be happy to accept a 20% increase?
No.
They're not gonna be happy about it.
We have to be realistic.
They're gonna be disappointed about it, but they're gonna be
Continuing to-
disappointed about it.
Especially with
In this
CCD
moment.
also increasing 19%.
Yeah, but continuing to just back into a percentage number you're thinking is palatable is not responsible. We're seeing deficit year over year
Yeah.
because that's the philosophy that's been taken.
I can argue different reasons for that.
I rather
This committee
disappoint.
last year said, we don't think a double-digit increase is appropriate. We need to back into a single-digit increase.
Absolutely, we said
And
that.
the same approach was done the year before.
Right.
It's easier to disappoint someone one time rather than disappointing them
Every year.
continuously year after year after year after year.
We gotta break the
If we
cycle.
continue to run deficits, you're gonna continue to owe the capital fund money every year and it's just
I
gonna
would
get
say
bigger and
though,
bigger.
the under 10%, I think, was appropriate for
Those
prior
were
years,
capital
where
fees
this
that are
year
coming
you
in.
have.
How do you run, how do you
and
pay for your
CJC,
deficit then?
So that's something that you can't match.
Well,
How do you pay for your deficit?
go to the residents and ask for an allocation.
So you're gonna do a special assessment
You're
instead
spending
of,
more money than what was in the budget, and therefore,
and so instead of doing a special assessment, we're removing the capital allocation from residents.
Right.
By borrowing from capital.
Well, as far as committee members, so you
A
have
20%
three,
increase
that
is
says
far more
keep.
palatable than a special assessment halfway through the year.
I know,
You have 3 that say keep and 2 that say lower, so,
Even 250.
Yeah, say the 250.
right.
Yeah, then
And the board can decide to do something different.
Right.
You only recommend.
We just say we had not a unanimous
we
agreement.
just, yeah, then future thinking, right? I mean, with the resale, if that's 1.75, and then you're doing 250 for this, that's 2 million going in this year or next year. Is that too much or is that enough? People have different views on that as well.
Exactly.
I mean, that was the point of the resale change, was that ideally that would be something that self-funds itself versus homeowners needing to continue to pay into it.
I don't know that we ever had that discussion. We always thought the owners should make some contribution to capital. But we were able to, well, because of the 851, we increased the capital resale fee for the people coming in. but we always felt as long as I've been on the committee, which is from the beginning, we always felt the homeowner should be contributing something to the capital expenditures in the community. Pick your number, what you want. At one point in time, it was $100,000.
We saw where that got us 5 years ago.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what history is.
But again, I think the expectation within Celebration is that you're not spending 2 million in new projects every single year. So that should balloon up to, say, 5 million in
No.
5 years.
But if you want to talk master plan and the strategy and the civic center, then we should be planning to build the capital fund, much like we had to do it for the 851 building, because we're talking about a project that'll be 10 or $15 million.
Which was gonna be done by CCDD, but now that they're not, we don't know if we're gonna have a community center anytime in the
Well, everybody thought
Near
CDD was
future.
going to be free money. And people found out that you have to pay the bonds back, and no one wanted them to do it anyway, but you got to pay bonds back. It's still a cost.
For now. All right.
You done?
IT network, IT. Another 15%. It's going up every year.
Yeah, every year it goes up.
2026 was due to the reallocation of CJC coming over to Pro, right? So that's why it jumped up so much
Is that what it is?
this year. But then just,
You're also gonna start getting billed for GoGo this year in 27 too. Cause you're
What?
GoGo. So we had a credit for a couple of years from CDD.
Yeah.
Our credit has run out.
Security increase because of CJC.
I know there's a specific reason why. No, the stuff that was up in security monitoring pulled down into that line.
Okay.
considering it's only 30,000. So not came out of that. Safety and security, right? Monitoring.
Safety and security.
It's been like 30,000 for the past 3 years. That's what I was saying, it was coming from
Yeah.
CJC over to Crow.
There was some reallocation because of the change in staffing from CJC to Crow. I'll have to double check what the network security is.
But yeah, can you give us a breakdown of all the IT expenses? But I mean, Smart Wood is straightforward, but kind
It's,
of
it's in the worksheet that was sent out.
the budget estimate.
Yeah.
Is everything necessary? Is there?
It's
overlap on stuff?
access control system, digital ID card expenditures, anticipating a expenditure there. PACS support, maintenance and monitoring. Endpoint protection, network security.
What is the comment next to if OD was approved, this one with the 12 platforms?
We'll drop some of the licenses and subscriptions. And you'll see an overall savings with additional functionality. Odoo's going to the board in August.
Oh, okay.
Could you get back to us on the network security? Because that's the big driver.
Yeah, I will, let me dig deeper into to what it was, and I will get you a detailed breakout.
Okay, great.
Okay. And we talked about 4 new positions. So,
Some, the inspector is a CJC position.
oh, okay.
The porter is a CROA and the 2 part-time park monitors are CROA.
That includes an annual increase for all the employees are built in there.
An anticipated merit increase of 4%, but not everybody gets that.
It's an average.
Well,
Oh, it's.
I don't, yeah, that's a max.
It's okay.
Unless I'm drastically changing a position and its responsibilities. And then in that sense, it's also, I'm trying to drop somewhere else to accommodate it.
Gotcha.
Okay. We just want to talk about joint committee expense.
So wrap up on allocations real quick. For replacement, that was
That's in the
based
reserve
off of
study.
reserve study without Island Village.
Correct.
So that's underfunded to start. We use the 1.477.
For phase 2, yes. We plan on redoing the reserve study next year after we take over all of those parts. And the amenity center.
So that's where I know you guys wanted to do your 250 on the interfund, but I think reserve needs to be up higher to already account for Island Village and
Why?
all the amenities that are coming over.
To start,
Because you're not reserving for it.
Replacement? What are we gonna be replacing?
it's funding future replacements. That's what the reserve study's for. You're putting money away now to pay for replacement in 30 years.
Your year one is next year.
Yeah,
You are reserving 0 for Island Village new amenities in 2027. You would rather put it to the capital than reserve appropriately. And again, you can call that a wash or whatever you want to name it, but that's where. If anything, I think the reserve number needs to be higher and the interfund can be offset a little bit.
I think it's a good number. It's not a reserve study.
So as long as you're comfortable knowing that it's old celebration, not total new celebration.
you're gonna see a bigger jump in reserve contribution next year because of a redo.
Yeah, so if you want to even get ahead of it a little bit so that we're not gonna have a huge increase in reserve next year, that's gonna be what the talking point will be. That's gonna probably jump up 200,000.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna fix this.
And then, but you just did 851 too, so you gotta start reserving for that new building as well, because that went up a lot. So. Something to think about. You wanna play to catch up on the capital interfund, or you wanna try to stay ahead or at the speed of what the replacement budget is? Something to think about. We don't need to
Yeah.
decide today.
As far as like budgeting is concerned.
But right now, our budget has 0 allocation for Island Village reserves. Outside of what's already existing.
Oh, yeah.
Lauren, is this the number from the study, the current study?
Yes,
The
Okay,
recommended number from the existing study.
and we'll have a current study at the end of the year, an updated study at the end of the year?
And no, we'll do it next year, once we receive all the 2B parks and the amenity
Okay.
center.
All right, so we'll just keep,
So for your
Responding to that.
28 budget, you'll have an updated one.
328.
when you're prepping for 28, you'll
Yeah.
already have a completed
yeah,
updated.
new
reserve
guidance, yeah.
Guides, right? That'll be another big hit.
And then for phase 3, just so this committee's aware, you don't have any. The only physical structure that you'll take over is mailbox kiosks
Okay.
for about 70 homes. And then for phase 4, the only physical structure that you're getting is the mailbox kiosk with the attached 1-car garage, which is our storage unit that they built for us. So everything else is just passive parks. There's no new amenity center.
Yep, okay.
And the CJ said,
Where was that number?
Okay, joint committee expense. Committee. So the increase of 542,000. So like half of that is from canola production.
They're dropping from 273 to 46,000.
The other half is getting 98% of the increase for the next year, the 12% as opposed to 88%.
So 226,000 of it is the drop from Kanoa.
Okay. And what's the remaining then?
The insurance anticipate 20% is the number that we increase for your insurance. And then compensation. This is where the bulk of your large salary individuals live.
Okay.
So me, Jacob, Ray, Donna, Nikki, Danica, Allison, all your community standards team, the IT department, the communications manager. And we do each year evaluate a position and its pay compared to other similar positions in the area to see. I mean, they may deserve a 4% increase, but that's not reasonable given the duties and responsibilities of the role. So those discussions are had at this time frame. We're not just saying, great job, here's 4% more because you've been here another year.
So the additional, what, like 350,000, you guys have already analyzed. All of that for that. So that's number.
Yeah, what's in the compensation now is everybody's existing salaries plus a potential 4%. Yeah.
Okay.
With IT, is that what you're saying? That move to Pro, because that's down 40,000.
Yeah.
But then Pro is up 65,000. Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I saw that could potentially get rid of is the special event CCC 20,000. That now that I think majority of that goes to the events outside of celebration and everything else.
That's 4th of July, Ups and Pints, Fortune Yard Sale, and the Home Improvement Expo / Health Expo.
Yeah, so that's something that's no longer a homeowner responsibility within CJC, but sponsorship or someone else has to foot the bill. Not CJC.
I'm gonna have to look at the documents because I don't know if you can necessarily cut that off.
There's a requirement.
I don't know what the CCS documents are or what, I don't know what the funding mechanism agreement for CCS is. I have to look at it.
So, for payroll, you guys always gone with salary increase?
No, we don't always get a salary increase, but we budget for it.
It's
Okay.
merit-based and based on comps, based on your job role and responsibilities.
Okay. And we budgeted that during COVID times too?
I have no idea what.
Oh,
Yeah, that was prior to them managing us.
I will say the salaries that existed under CCMC were fully reevaluated with comps with the board involvement in a phased approach in the 22 to 23 budget and the 23 to 24 budget, because you were drastically underpaying positions to the point where you could not get skilled people and you could not get people to stay. And that was the same time that Disney and Universal upped their baseline salary.
So you got what you picked for with CCMC, and the salaries were way under what they should have been.
You were paying maintenance people $14 an hour.
oh, yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, we budgeted as if everyone's getting the 4%. And then we're still running a deficit because we're using that money to pay for operating expenses. And not salary increases. Every year we have a deficit operating,
Yes.
so that money we budget doesn't go for salary. It's getting spent elsewhere.
Oh,
From a bottom line perspective, yes.
You know, in the big picture.
You have to look at each of the budgets.
But I would say I don't think overtime is accounted for. So
Yeah, there's no
overtime
overtime.
eats into whatever budget of 4% is for that.
We don't budget for overtime, but we also don't add in we don't reduce salaries based on anticipated percentage of unfilled positions. So it should help offset a little bit.
Right, I
Yep.
know you did budget for it. No, a factor you could consider.
It is a factor we could consider, but it's not something that's consistent.
And I'm sorry, I'm talking to her.
No, I mean, it's a
Sure.
factor we can consider. We've just never put it in because we've always been tight budget.
What would it be? Can you come back and tell us what that
Yeah,
would be?
what
an
is
OT, yeah.
the expense percentage for overtime for the last, say, 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
Cause OT can really
Is it 100,000?
eat a budget.
Yeah, I mean, we restrict it severely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, you monitor that. but
It has to be pre-approved by the manager and it has to be, like, if it's a maintenance thing, it has to be because there's an emergent maintenance issue that has to do with it. Or they're helping with an event because we need extra hands. We have seen a drop in our overtime because of the volunteer program that we stood up. And that the events also have a lesser impact on day-to-day operations of the back office team because they're not helping in the large scale events.
It's not that, you require the budget for overtime, but it'd be interesting to know what that dollar figure is compared to our deficit every year.
But you also want to know if the overtime is low because some people quit. And so,
That- I mean,
That'd
that
be a
is-
part of
I
it.
think we could just what the 2-year overtime costs were for the past 2 years.
Not looking
Each year,
for-
annually.
Yeah,
I don't care.
That's
I just don't know what percentage of it is our,
And then can you also
On
look
budget.
at
It's on
the
budget.
4% that's budgeted? How much of that are you using every year?
Yeah.
Can you extrapolate that? But if you budget for 4%, but
Yeah, but you're
you only
actually,
use 75% of it, then the other 25% of overtime, you can see, is that already accounting for overtime or not?
I don't.
or if you're using more too.
At all, I just.
well, and stuff like this year, we hired after the budget was done at the end of last year, we hired 2 people above what we had anticipated their salary. And that was over the 4% that was even budgeted. So we always started at a deficit in those positions.
Yeah,
Actually,
I would do it by the expectation at the beginning of the year, that you had X amount of associates, you booked.
I'll do
4%
it for
that, not the
23
two- for the
and
new people.
24. I don't want to do it for 25 because there's an artificially unfunded position there that's throwing a monkey
Yeah,
wrench in
exclude that out, no,
Yeah.
exclude all that out, don't include it.
Oh, 26, yeah.
But I'm saying, don't include any of that
Yeah.
as part of your calculation, only do the rest of them. And what would that?
Yeah.
Not a huge thing, but I'll say it again. The water tower, it's a non-residential structure. That should go over to Canoa. They should be responsible for repairs, maintenance, oversight, all that stuff. I don't think the residents are throwing against anything particular from it. You know, they hang some banners and stuff like that, but I don't think it's anything worthwhile. So
Can't force them to accept it.
Yeah, it's one of those contractual things from 30 years ago.
Well, no, I mean, even if you could try to quit claim deed it to them, but they don't have to accept it.
What if it was condemned?
It was just repaired. We just spent like $100,000 to fix it.
Who's liable to replace it?
CJC. That's reserved for.
Okay.
and the other thing would be what I know we have a 92% allocation right now, but what is the true cost allocation between Crow and Canoa?
That's it. That's the cost application
That's
based on
it.
the formula from your governing documents.
Say that again?
That's the true allocation differential based on the formula in the CJC bylaws.
No, I'm saying the budget we have here.
Mhm.
What is Crowa and what is Canoa for budgeting expenses? Not the breakout of what they need to pay, but actual expenses that are associated. So
If it's
do they,
directly,
just like you, are they using 2% of your work through the year or are they taking 10%? right?
So if an expenditure is directly CROA, then it's in the CROA budget. The CJC people are all split between Canoa and CROA at varying percentages throughout the year. So trying to tag a specific percentage of my time to Canoa versus CROA doesn't really work. Plus, I do CJC work as well, so there's work that's specific to CJC. They have their own board meetings, they have their own budget, they have their own audit, they have their own legal stuff that we have to deal with.
Your time is situational.
Yeah.
Every year, situational.
Well, that's where I would say that
If it's
CJC and Canoa doesn't really get any of Lauren's time because they're not paying for it.
CJC pays me,
Oh, okay.
and Canoa has their own budget, so anything that's a definitively Canoa expenditure lives in their budget.
We are cutting back, helping, right?
Yeah, we already have. They're down to quarterly meetings instead of multiple months. We're not doing any of their social media, none of their website, none of their comms. We're doing their ARC, we're doing their covenants, monthly financials, quarterly management reports. We're back to contractual obligation. Like,
But not their events, right?
no, we don't do any of their events.
And I think Andrew's question was, will those contractual obligations exceed the $46,000 they're gonna pay next year?
It's quite possible.
I think more than quite possible, right? I mean, it's highly likely.
I think it's highly likely it's just how far over is it gonna be?
Yeah,
That's the
what
big
order of
question.
magnitude? Yeah. But it is what it is.
Yeah, not much we can do.
It's your governing docs.
Okay. Wrapping up.
Yeah, I think it's a good conversation for first review. I guess what I would ask of Grand Manners for my committee would be, can we get updated 6-month projections? I know this was a 4-month because they wanted it out and the board wanted to see it early and all that kind of stuff, but I'd like to have a more 6-month projection through the end of the year than just the 4-month we're working with here. As we continue to go through the
Well,
budget
we have,
process.
we have 5 months, so until we get June, 6 months, so let's wait until we get between.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you wrap up June, then get rid of the 4-month projection and turn it to 6-month and put the numbers in and let's see if anything's changed drastically or not.
So I have takeaways of more detail on network security, OT for 2024 and 25, and the salary, how much did we actually use as a 4%? And the 6-month.
Yeah, but the 20,000 we've done so far.
That's the real time calculation that after the adjustments we made today.
Mhm.
We walk in here, what do you think?
You went down like 0.22%.
Oh, we haven't.
2-2, huh?
2-2.
We haven't adjusted. General, that's cost and potential revenue adjustments.
This is why it's more than just. Yeah.
Well, yeah, hopefully insurance is 20%, so that comes in at 15 or 10.
Yeah.
That's something that helps. Negative would be the pool contracts, if they come in higher, that's gonna adjust something.
Landscaping.
So.
Yep.
Hey, maybe
Still
something for the next meeting, but looking at opportunities, you saw the one I mentioned about the inspections of homes. And I
That's
thought
a
it was,
board decision.
I know, but we gotta decide if we want to raise that, so let us talk about it and analyze it. If we, right now, I thought it was 3 times, Lauren said it's 4 times a year, so we do every home.
What's it for?
We wrote it in the contract based on the board decision.
Yeah, but
I mean, it
both
was already
parties,
in the contract, but now it's a metric that we get fined for if we don't meet.
I know,
Which is.
but if both parties agree, if both parties agree
Change.
to a change, you could do it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we evaluate it and see what it looks like and if we think that's worth doing? Because there aren't many levers we can pull. But I think you look at redundant activities and doing every home every 3 months in the community is awful redundant in my mind. And if you just took one out, you could look at a 25% reduction basically in possible costs that are involved in doing those. Now, everybody's got to agree to it, and I know, but if we're going to really move the needle on anything, we're going to have to change some things. Because trying
It's
to
a good
do the
point.
same thing over and over is not going to work.
Right. It was a result of the RFP for the management company. The board had to make a decision of what to write into the contract for the RFP. And that's
I
what it came
understand.
from.
I understand. I know how we got here. I'm just saying it's
The-
something we should analyze.
Once a year.
No, well,
They were doing inspections in
the charter
20.
was every month, once every 30 days. So
I think you bring a
A
good
lot of
point, though.
people
I
don't
mean,
like it.
I don't know if there's specific things of the inspection during the winter months prove anything worthwhile versus if you did go every 4 months, are you kind of covering that regardless? Where I think, your spring and your fall is where you see the most inspections that actually resolve into things of either stuff isn't growing, needs to be replaced, or sidewalks need to be power washed, things of that nature.
it's easier to keep it on time, recurring time. It's seasonal.
So maybe
It's easier for you to keep track of it.
Well, I'm just asking that we put it on the agenda for the next meeting and talk about it in some detail.
I agree. Yep, I agree.
Good point.
all right, motion to adjourn.
When's the next meeting?
Motion to adjourn. Yes.
Right. Bye, Mike. Bye, Don.
Bye, guys.
Take care. Have a good one.
Thank you.
July.
Yeah, but